Welcome to North by Northeast. Join us as we visit Big Lost Meadery in Gillette, Wyoming to learn about their latest expansion.
So Big Lost Meadery, we started in 2014, and initially what happened was, we had wanted to start a business in Gillette. That's where we're from. That's, our home. And so what we decided to do is we were looking at different options of businesses to start, and we had a background in brewing, so a brewery was the first item that we looked at. But as we started looking around the market, we saw that everybody and their dog had breweries. And so we decided, well, how about we do something different and create a market where one doesn't exist instead of trying to hop into this macro competition level that was seen in the craft beer world. And so what we came up with was the meadery concept. And, in our lofty goals, I guess you could say, is we'd like to put something in Gillette that something sweet besides coal and oil that could bring a little diversity to the economy and develop, our home and something that Gillette could be proud of. And with the entire goal of being a distribution and production model, granted we did have the bar that we established day one here in Gillette, and that was something that we could get the community wrapped around and something fun for Gillette to be involved in, with the bulk of our work being production and distribution and exporting out of the Gillette area. And so we initially went statewide in Wyoming, and then within a year we were in North Dakota, South Dakota, Iowa, Wyoming. And then fast forward to where we are today, we're in North Dakota, South Dakota, Iowa, Kansas, Wyoming, Colorado, Taiwan, as well as doing direct-to-house shipments in 41 states around the country. In 2016, we outgrew the space that we're in now. So right now we're in the bar of the original building, but we outgrew our production space in 2016 and moved off-site for production. And once we did that, we had nothing to do in the back where we had the mead production site, so that's when we decided to add brewing to the mix. And so we put a brewery in at that point. We had the meadery off-site production, and that way with the beer, we could create a diversification of products, but also bring something else into Gillette that helps facilitate the bar concept itself. Fast forward again to 2018, and we expanded again, outgrew our other production facility and moved into a larger offsite production area, which was able to give us some more options as we started to expand the mead side of things. And then we'll fast forward again to today, which it's November of 2020 right now. We're expanding to a new facility with the bar, production, everything on one site. And so we'll have our outdoor seating, we'll have much more room for events, we have built-in stages, we've got bringing in a food vendor, and so we're gonna start doing some more things to diversify the in-house sales as we continue to drive forward with our production and distribution model. So our primary products are mead, which is it's a fermented honey. And so we take raw honey, mix it with water, add yeast, go through this process, and we come out with fermented honey. There are two primary products, Wild Man and Crazy Woman, are 18% alcohol, and they're kind of halfway between a wine and a liquor-ish, real strong on the ish. We do a lot of cocktail work with them, or we'll just put them over ice with a lime wedge. And Wild Man is a straight honey, and then Crazy Woman is a honey and hibiscus. And so we take those two products, and that's what we primarily distribute. The other products that we have are different styles of mead that we serve in-house. And they all have these different branding rabbit holes that go behind them, but the Forgotten Philosopher, the Tipsy Cousin, the Flathead Warrior, the Island Gypsy, the Demented Grandpa, the Black Miner, the list goes on and on. And they're all just different styles of fermented honey, which is mead. And then we also have a beer product line that we have in-house, and we do some accounts around town and some special events, but it's primarily for in-house growth. And we specialize in mostly easy drinking malty German styles of beer. We have a few others that come out. Biggest thing is we didn't want to do IPAs because everybody and their dog does them, and they're way better at it than we are. And so we just focus in some of those older, more classic styles of beer. So part of it is the product itself. There's only probably 5 or 6 meaderies in the world that make a style like we do. So mead itself is fairly rare, and then within the mead world, we're even more rare than that. And so we kind of, we have a very unique style of mead that doesn't get made anywhere else. And so a lot of times when people come in, I'm not going to promise they're going to like it, but I'm going to promise they'll have had nothing like it in the past. And that's almost exclusively true. And for the most part, they come out on the more positive side of liking it as well. The other thing is when they come into our building, which granted we're moving into a new building in a couple weeks, so we'll see if this stays true or not. But we have a very unique building. There's no TVs, there's no loud music. We still believe in conversation. Heaven forbid people sit there and talk again instead of staring at their phones or TVs or all this stimuli. So it's a very quiet environment, and there's a lot to do. We have all this different branding. We have scavenger hunts within the building, and the scavenger hunts actually help you look through like who we are as Big Lost, not just trying to find a random playing card in the corner of a building. But when you walk into Big Lost, the entire building, the entire product line, the entire branding scheme is all designed for an experience. And so it's not just a building that we found to serve mead out of. So instead, we've tried to force the whole thing into being one large-scale experience. Our staff is behind it, our product's behind it, the look of our building's behind it, the actions within the building, but it's all designed to create that wowing experience when you walk in and leave with a positive attitude. So in the new facility, it's going to give us a lot more options. So it's not going to be the same building, even though I just got done talking about how this building is a big part of who we are. It's going to be a very different place. We're not going to rebrand anything, but the other side with this building, gives us some options when it comes to the production and work side of things, having everything in one location instead of multiple facilities. But as far as the experience goes itself, we're going to have an outdoor awning, we have a built-in stage outdoor, we have outdoor seating. And so with a lot of the events we do, we have to work with 15, 20 different businesses sometimes and shut down the main street of Gillette, Wyoming to do our events to expand outside of our borders. Well, this way, we don't have to try and get permits every time we want to do something. So we have this massive built-in space that we can use constantly. And so it's going to give us a lot more options for the event side of things, which is the part we enjoy the most. And so we can have a lot more live music. We can put curling rinks out all winter long if we want to. We can put volleyball out there. In December, we're having a big German Christmas market out there. And so we're trying to do all these different things that the new bar allows us to do. And it's also going to open up with space some new product lines, and we're going to increase our product lines. We're going to bring in some more friends of ours that make good product, and yeah, we're excited. So one thing that we're going to be doing over the next year, so we all live in this world of COVID, which has now become a reality, especially in Gillette recently. Well, one thing we found is it's really inhibited our ability to travel into these other markets and really do a lot of development in our out-of-state markets. And so over the next year, a lot of our development is going to be here in Gillette. So developing the bar concept, developing events, getting more things to happen at our new facility, which the new facility allows us to do. And then as soon as COVID starts to subside to a point where we can really start hitting the road again, getting the word out, we've got some expansion plans on the East Coast, looking further into the Midwest, i.e. like Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, Michigan, Minnesota. But yeah, ultimately our goal is to get to full-scale distribution in all 50 states, and then as well as expanding our Asian markets in Taiwan, and possibly looking at some other Asian markets like Singapore, Macau, Thailand. We've had some discussions with some distributors over there on looking at that expansion. But really it's going to be this next year is really focusing on Gillette and Gillette operations, And then as soon as COVID subsides a little bit more, things really get opened back up, then really hit the road hard when it comes to distribution and upscaling production.